So today we're going to talk about trend chasing and how it negatively affected Battlefield 2042. So it's no secret that Battlefield 2042 was poorly received at launch and is still doing pretty poorly as we speak now. So obviously the removal of classes and the introduction of specialists was to chase trends and get a piece of that microtransaction pie that Apex Legends is getting or Warzone is getting, so skins for different specialists. Very popular right now. A lot of money is being made on these specialists or characters or legends, no matter what you want to call them. So EA and DICE wanted a piece of that microtransaction pie for Battlefield. Now, it's not entirely clear if Battlefield 2042 was originally slated to be a battle royale or extraction royale, which is what Hazard Zone is right now, but that Battlefield 2042 was supposed to be that in its entirety. You can see it with the large scale of the maps, the vehicle call-ins, the specialists making an introduction. So it's obvious that EA and DICE wanted to find a way to make Battlefield as profitable as something like Apex Legends, which is another one of EA's IPs, or even compete with Warzone, which is obviously a very, very big game right now and has been for the past couple of years in terms of overall players and, of course, revenue, so yearly revenue. So, you know, the smart thing for them to do would be to copy those games or make something that is similar and compete with them to get some of that crazy money that those games are bringing in on a yearly basis. So I wanted to make a small analogy here with a beer. Now, why would you say, what the hell are you doing? Why are you talking about beer in Battlefield 2042? Well, I know a lot about beer, and I wanted to make an analogy of trend chasing. Now, it's just a hypothetical here. So, for example, if we compare Battlefield 2042 with Grolsch, which is obviously a very, very popular beer across the world, most people know it. It has been crafted the same way for, I think, almost 400 years now, perfected to taste a certain way. Now, this specific beer, Grolsch, in this example, has its target market. Sure, it's not for everyone, but that's okay. Not everyone will enjoy everything, and that's fine. But picture this. Somebody comes in and decides to completely shift how or what Grolsch is. They decide to turn Grolsch into a malt-based, ready-to-drink beverage. You know what I'm talking about. Those super sugary, bubbly drinks with the fake fruit aromas, but not the ones made with spirits like vodka or gin, the ones made with malt-based alcohol. So anyways, they do a complete 180 on the product lineup of the company, making Grolsch, aforementioned, ready-to-drink malt-based beverage, even though the predecessors had worked tirelessly for generations to perfect the Grolsch recipe, the beer that is. So the sales figures start dropping. People aren't buying Grolsch. Why is that? Well, you alienated your loyal customers because Grolsch isn't what it once was, so they go and find another beer that will satisfy their palate, possibly something like Heineken, for example. And ready-to-drink malt-based beverage drinkers aren't really buying your product either because the market is already so oversaturated with those, so why would they go with yours as opposed to the competition's that's already pre-established brand in that particular market or drink something better like spirit-based ready-to-drink beverages? So by being overzealous and completely remaking a well-known product from scratch and turning it into something that your target audience doesn't want and fails to attract a new audience due to pre-existing well-established competitors, you simply end up with something that barely anybody wants, and now you have to work tirelessly once again to bring said product back to its former glory. But unfortunately, it never will, because your loyal Grolsch drinkers probably won't come back, as you had previously pulled the rug out from under them, and the few people you did manage to attract with your newly formulated product won't be happy either, because if you decide to go back to your original formula, then that small customer base that you just got are also going to leave. So the person that decided to completely change a working formula effectively killed off an entire brand for no reason and by trying to chase trends. So if we take that analogy and replace Grolsch and the beer with Battlefield 2042, they were trying to chase the trends of having specialists in the game to sell more microtransactions. And obviously there's a lot of other things that aren't unlikable in Battlefield 2042, but the point still remains. They chased trends, they effectively alienated their core community, so longtime Battlefield players that want to come to Battlefield for that Battlefield feel. Something like Battlefield 4, class-based, intense warfare, sandbox, all these awesome things. So they alienated those core Battlefield players, and in turn, the game was so bad and so poor at release that anybody that was coming from, let's say, another type of game that had never played Battlefield before, so they come into Battlefield 2042, or even somebody that comes from Warzone or Apex Legends, or any hero-type shooter, really. So they come over to Battlefield 2042, give it a try, but they see how poor the game is and how obviously it wasn't ready for release with all the constant bugs, server issues, glaring balance problems. So they play that and they're like, why the hell am I playing this when I can go play another game that satisfies my hero shooter needs and does it better than Battlefield 2042? So those people are gone too. So you just have a small amount of players left. And even if said players were to buy microtransactions, it probably is not what you were expecting in terms of revenue from one of your massive franchises. So by chasing trends, in turn, you end up pleasing no one, which then makes it so that you don't make as much money as you initially wanted from said product, and you're not even making as much money as past titles, so past products. So you're pretty much left there with a product that nobody really wants to invest money in or play, and that's not generating a whole lot of revenue for the simple fact that instead of doing something that was tried and true, so the Battlefield franchise formula, you decided to do something completely different that the old players don't want and new players don't want, because the game's so bad compared to other products that are similar that why would they play yours? If they had released like just a Battlefield game that was true to its core design and Battlefield experience, they'd be making money hand over fist. People are thirsty for that type of game in a modern setting, kind of like Battlefield 4, just upgraded with new maps and all these different things, but they just squandered that potential on Battlefield 2042, and now they're making almost no money because they fucked up so bad. So it's just like, why would you go and copy something when you probably had a lot of people that had great ideas that would have pushed the Battlefield franchise to the next level without alienating its entire core audience and also not satisfying new players or bringing anybody in? And it just really goes to show how copying other products and trying to compete with them or trend chasing really ends up costing you more and pushes people away from your brand. And of course, obviously, ruins a lot of trust that people had in your company to begin with. But anyways, this video has gone on for long enough. I just wanted to make a video on this. I've had this in the back of my mind for a while, and I wanted to make an analogy with something that I know pretty well. But anyways, that'll be it for today's video. Hit the like button if you enjoyed it. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And as always, thank you very much for watching. I really appreciate it, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Have a good one.